What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Rikka, Sun Avalon, Plant Link, whatever the heck it's called, going up on the right side against Brand Despia. It's going to be the same deck list that you guys saw yesterday, piloting by myself. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Which a lot. We're on the road to 10K, and we need your guys' support. Trying to hit that before end of the year. Let me know in the comment section down below what else you guys want to be seeing in the duels, and, well, let's dive in. We are going to be seeing the branded player on the right side, myself. Going to be going first. We're going to be setting a monster and setting a face down and passing turn on this. At this point, I didn't know what he was playing. I do have double Dark Ruler in the hand. Definitely not good. I think I like Dark Ruler, Mercurier, Albaz, Dark Ruler, and like Retribution. It was not good at all. Anyways, we're going to be seeing a Petal being normal summoned from the opponent's side, activating its effects, being able to searching for a copy of the Mudon here. Well, they also have a Cobble Grave in the hand, so they're going to be playing through a hand trap regardless if we did have one. They're going to link up into the Sun Dryas, and they're going to activate the Sunvine Sowing here. And we're just going to scoop it up, realizing they have, the whole combo at this point. They're going to be able to go for, like, the Seed or the copy of the, whatever his name is, Sunvine, little guy, Sunseed, and we're just going to lose at that point. Like, there's no need to continue the combo. They already have Mudon in the hand. They have the Sunvine Sowing part of the deck. So we just scoop it up. I also know what he's on now. He doesn't exactly know what we're on. He kind of does have an idea because, unfortunately, the locals is pretty small. We only have like 40 people. And, of course, if I'm always recording, they kind of know what sleeves I get. I double sleeve really only the branded deck, so it's pretty simple to know what deck it is. Same thing when you have like different sleeves for different decks as well. Like we see David with the ones from the Magnificent Mavens here. Pretty standard for him to know what he's playing when he's playing that deck. But we're going to be diving on into Game 2. Unfortunately, we didn't open up that good Game 1, but we'll open up any better Game 2 here. We're going to be starting off with a copy of Bestial Rebellion, which indeed yesterday we played 3 rounds, then cut the top 4. And I only lost 1 round, and I saw Lubellion in my hand a lot, most of the games. Kind of crazy that this was a card that was in my hand most of the time. We're going to be searching for a copy of Sorenir. We're going to normal summon the copy of Quem, then Quem's going to dump the copy of Albion. We drop our card, we pick it back up, and you guys get to see the GoPro on our head. This is also going to be one of the POV matches for the local experiences. If you have not seen that, definitely check it out. It's a different kind of atmosphere for the game. Or then summon with the copy of Cartesia, because we do control Albaz in the graveyard as in the Albion. Then we're going to activate the Albion effect, dumping the copy of Retribution. We're then going to be able to activate the effect of the Cartesia being able to use itself and the Sorenir, going up into a copy of the Giganol. We're going to be protected by Lost, as well as being able to Reborn out and also having Quem and Sorenir. So we're going to be dumping the copy of Brand Fusion with the Sorenir. We're going to be adding a copy of Mercurier, most likely with the copy of Lost. And then we're going to be bringing up back the copy of Cartesia. There is a world where we actually do add the Albaz if we, for example, are afraid of getting hit with Ash Blossom. But, there's definitely different lines you can do here depending on what you want. We're going to be dumping the copy of the Gaming Puppet with that Grand Giganol here, and we do activate the effect of Brand Fusion when we banish that copy of Retribution to add back. We're going to be activating it, setting the copy of Albaz alongside most likely we're thinking of going for a copy of the Tragedy here, but setting a copy of the Cartesia to go for a copy of Albion, which we kind of do need to pick up a 3rd copy. I do like the idea of playing 3 right now. We're going to go for Albion, banishing the copy of the Cartesia alongside the Albaz. Go for a copy of Sanctifier here. Then we're going to be trading off with Lubellion. And we're going to be setting a 1 card face down. Now we have also the effect of we go for the Sanctifier line here over a copy of Mirror Jade, because now we constantly have we have Albion as well as the Sanctifier access, and have Mercurier. So if our opponent has like a DD Crow or some kind of way to banish it, we can kind of play through it as well. We don't really need to Gaming Puppet during the standby phase. We know that they are playing that, so we can here. But there's just no need to waste another card in hand with that Lubellion, shuffling it back out pretty much. But that's going to be game 2. We do see them getting hit. That is something unfortunate with both of these decks here. They don't do well against like I don't play any board break. I play only board breakers. I don't play any hand traps. So if our opponent goes first and we don't see none of those board breaker cards, it's going to be quite difficult for us to break their board. Alongside the same thing with Rikka, which is why a lot of the deck is not that good right now. When you're playing against Fiendsmith, Snake Eyes, and they're able to set up a board that essentially just FTKs you because they can just negate one of your board breakers. It's like, well, that just absolutely sucks. Kind of busted how they can just do that. But it is just the game that we are kind of in now. Kind of unfortunate, but hopefully they do change that with the next list coming in August, at the end of August, which is very, very soon. So we're all excited for that. Hopefully they hit both decks, the Fiendsmith deck as well as the Snake Eyes deck significantly. Because if they don't hit the Fiendsmith cards, the new Bell will just be able to use them. I think Chimera can use them as well really nicely. We are hoping for like a big list after Worlds, but seems to be we're getting it before Worlds, which is kind of interesting. Maybe you're going to be kind of merging the TCG and the OCG's ban list a little bit similar. But dive on into Game 3, we're going to be seeing Rikka going first with a normal summon of a copy of Primula. Not the best one, but they can go into a copy of Dryas. They don't have the spell here, so they won't have the full combo. We do have Lily Borea to summon herself out, which can then activate the effect searching for a copy of the field spell. Field spell is just for Regulus, which will now give us access to the Omni Negate on our field, which is pretty nice. We're not plant locked just yet here, so we're most likely going to be going up into a copy of the Dancepone, because that does not plant lock us here. So the hand's not going to be that good so far. We do cut the deck, hoping that they do not hit 2, and they do hit a copy of the Princess and a Laurel. Probably one of the best hits they can hit here, including the Princess. We do have then the Regulus to be able to attach that copy of the Lily Borea, giving it that Omni Negate, and then we do have the level 4 in the graveyard, which we can turn up into a level, turn them into a level 4. We can then go up into the copy of Strenna here. Strenna can then add back, and it's like at this point, this is what I mean. Like they just unfortunately hit 2 of them. We cut the deck for them, which means it's kind of our fault. But they're going to attach the Princess for the copy of the Primula. Then we can go up into the Mudon by tributing that copy of the Dancepone, summing itself out, which is also going to be able to summon out the copy of Primula. And then we can actually search for the Con-Con. Con-Con can be able to activate its effects, being able to set a copy of Glamour or the Sheet, depending on what we exactly need. But we're setting the Sheet for another form of interaction. So now we have a Princess, a Strenna, a Regulus, as well as a Sheet. Very nice. Being able to play through the stuff. And I also have a Trap in the hand as well, and I believe that's a Glamour. We're going to be linking up into a copy of the Jasmine here, and that's going to let us activate the effect, or we're just going to activate the effect of the Glamour, and using no tributes to search for a copy of the Princess. We then just put someone out Princess for free here, so we're going to be able to activate the Jasmine effect to be able to tribute out that Princess, to be able to continue our line. Princess being able to special summon herself is just quite nice here. We're going to go up into a copy of Petal, and then Petal will be able to search us for a copy of the Snowdrop. We can link those two away for the Link 3 Aromage, I believe. And that's going to activate the effect, letting us search for a copy of Aromage Blend. We then can activate the effect discarding the copy of Snowdrop, just to get the Humid Winds, or the Dry Wind onto the field. We have, or no, that is Humid Winds, okay. Yeah, Dry Field's one that they don't play. We're then going to activate the effect, paying 1,000 life points to search for a copy of the Aromage, and then we can gain 500 life points here. That's going to be able to trigger out the copy of the Link, which then summon ourselves out. We're then going to activate the effect to summon out a Tuner, I believe. The Mirror Jam, I believe. Then we're going to go up into that copy of the Synchro. Our life points are not higher than our opponents. We are 500 underneath our opponent there, so we can't get the effect in the graveyard to fuse. So we're just going to set one and pass here on that. We do read their graveyard. We know that they most likely have the trap set face down because of the fact that they did not search it. But they're going to be mentioning us. So they have like Regulus, the Trap, the other Trap, Princess, Con. Like that's 5 interruptions there. We're going to go Dark Ruler no more, getting rid of the entire Regulus negate. And then we're going to go Lubellion effect here, which is going to be sending itself to be able to search. And they do Princess this, which is then going to be able to trigger Strena, for Strena to be able to summon itself out and being either a Hyperion or so going for the Hyperion here. I was going to say, it can either be that or just a tribute. So a monster gate or a tribute of a monster here. And we just pick up Sheet because we have to read the exact wording of Sheet. Because we want to make sure that we can activate the effect. It makes it so that they cannot activate the other effect for the rest of the turn. So now you kind of have to play with only one card on the field, making sure that we don't kind of overextend before we can activate. Like it doesn't stop on summon effects, which is important. So we're going to go for Albaz alongside the Tragedy here. Going for Lubellion as well as Tragedy. And we're going to be discarding a copy of Branded Fusion again. So opening up double Branded Fusion here. We're going to search for a copy of Aluber. Yeah, Quem is going to be wanting to stay on the field, therefore not going to be the best kind of monster to have. But we do on summon go Mirror Jade effect, sending the copy of Titaniclad. They are going to Hyperion negate that. We are going to activate the effect of Mirror Jade in the graveyard. But they do have Petal in the graveyard as well. So it's kind of important that they kind of want to leave the Regulus on the field. But we're going to go Fusion Deployment into most likely an Albaz. And then Albaz effects can activate, discarding another Fusion Deployment. So we had Fusion Deployment, Branded Fusion, Dark Ruler. Then we're going to use the copy of the Link to go up into our second Mirror Jade here. The second Mirror Jade could activate its effects if we wanted to on Summon, which we are going to be doing. Sending the copy of Albion to banish. I would assume that we banish. I mean, maybe Hyperion is 3,000 attack. That's why we did it. This way, we probably should have banished the Aromage Synchro, unless the Hyperion has 3,000 attack, so we couldn't really play through it. We then normal summon with the Aluber because we don't have to worry about Sheet anymore. And then that's going to let us get a copy of Branded Lost. So we were choosing between Branded Lost and Branded in Red. Branded Lost just makes it so they essentially have to pop it because once we get, let's say, Quem being able to dump and the Albion being able to set, they're not going to be able to interact with their stuff anymore. We're going to be able to go Guardian Chimera, pop in their board. So we're really just like thinking on what they can do. So that's pay 1,000 to search, gain 500. The other one, like, steps one from the graveyard, which is then going to be able to pop, which is why, like, it's kind of important that we really use our Mirror Jade banishes correctly. We did fuse with Albaz, which we could have maybe fused into the copy of with Hyperion going up into the guy and then banished the other one so they can't bring back out with the other wins. But that's just like a little bit of a misplay. So he reveals that. I have not seen you search that card. We knew he searched it because we know he didn't activate the effect on summon to search for the one with the synchro. But it brings back from the graveyard. So like that was a little bit of a misplay. And it is game 3, so we can't afford to make any of these misplays here, which is important to note. That Hyperion being banished for like absolutely no reason when we could have just played around it and banished the other stuff definitely just can hurt us here. We're going to place a loss, so kind of making them wanting to pop it because we can search for red, we can search for another Branded Fusion for follow-up, we can search for a Retribution, but lost, it's either lost or Retribution here because if we search for the copy of Retribution, we could set it. and then making our opponent being forced to pop that as well. But then we're going to get the effect, working at the effect to add back, so that they don't necessarily want to pop it. And like we don't really have that much that's really good to negate. Like we can negate the trap, I guess, as well. But at the same time, it's like it doesn't negate the activation, or it doesn't, it doesn't just kind of stop them. Like if they have a good top deck, it's not going to do anything. So we place the loss on the field, and they ask us about the end phase rulings of how the mandatory effects activate, like for example Mirror Jade, or for example Petal for themselves, and then like of course if we just pass, and the camera died as well here, so we are changing out the POV camera, which is a little bit tricky. But yeah, so like we were mentioning, if I pass priority and we have no mandatory effects, I pass priority to him in the end phase, and he passes priority back to me. The end phase is now over. We don't have an opportunity to activate any more effects. So it can be a little bit risky, which is something that we mentioned here. It's going to be a little bit difficult. We're never going to just pass priority in this case, because we can just, we most likely will always go Titaniclad first to be able to summon with the copy of the Quem. But they are going to go Dried Winds, or Blessed Winds, whatever the Winds one is. Summon with the copy of the Synchro here, and this is the one we should have banished. So we're summoning with the Quem. Quem's going to activate its effects. Dumping an Albaz most likely here. We already have Albaz in the graveyard, so we can really dump whatever we want to. We should not dump the Retribution there. That is not a good option. But we dump a copy of Cartesia. We haven't had access to her this turn. They ask us if Mirror Jade can activate twice, which it can. So we're going to activate the effect of Humid Winds, paying 1,000 life points to be able to search. We do add back the copy of Cartesia. They're going to activate the secondary effect of the Humid Winds to then... they're going to activate the effect of Humid Wind to gain life points, and then we're going to also activate the effect of the Synchro to pop the card in our... pop the Lost here. Albion is going to choose to add a Branded in red. We're then going to activate the Branded in red here, using the copy of Tragedy, which we probably could have used the Albaz, looking back, so we can get the Tragedy effect during the follow-up turn. We're going to put Guardian Chimera here. Guardian Chimera is going to activate its effects, as well as the Quem is going to activate its effects, bringing out... This is where we would have brought out the copy of the Cartesia, but we unfortunately did not. We do have the Mirror Jade that we can bring back out with the Quem. So we're going to flip up a copy of Sheet here, chipping our Quem for cost. They just want to essentially make it so that we don't have the Quem. Now we're going to bring back out the Mirror Jade here, and we do pop, once we draw one, pop 2 cards. Are most likely going to be popping the Blessed Winds trap alongside the Synchro. Going to be assuming we're going to get the Guardian Chimera back at some point anyways. We do read the card they added, which is a pretty good combo here. It's also important to note that we're not letting them leave that Regulus off the field. That Regulus is going to be staying this whole time. So we're going to be popping the Synchro and the Trap. And they already searched for their cards. They already have a bunch of them in the graveyard. I assume they're on 3 Laurel, so they could really search again, but... We're going to see us pass turn, and we get back the Guardian Chimera here. And that's going to be that. We do have the Mirror Jade effect on the field, but they also have a Regulus, which is important as well. But having a Regulus, which is a copy of a machine, there's going to be a little bit of a problem with some of their cards. Like, if you do not control any stuff. They're not going to be able to activate like the I have to die because they control a monster. They can't just have the pedal bring back out because they control a machine. We do have a princess normal summon, so now we know both cards in their hand. When we check out their graveyard once again, like we're like, okay, well maybe we just banish with the Mirror Jade. They do have the Con, which is important to note, but like they kind of have to like link up here or something. So like we don't necessarily need to Mirror Jade banish on this, but at the same time, if we do Mirror Jade banish, it's going to like I don't want to say have caused problems, but it's going to like kind of limit their resources here. So we do activate the effect of Mirror Jade, sending the copy of Rinbrum here. And we just have both of their graveyards. They ask if we have an Albaz there, which we do. We want to just check which copy they do that. Do I have Princess Engraved? Go, yeah, you do. And so he activates the Princess effect to tribute off the Guardian Chimera to negate the effect, which is fine. They're going to go Con to set, which is what they're kind of trying to do here. Getting the copy of Glamour, which is important, but they check their graveyard, which is the same thing that we were thinking about. Do they have any targets left? They already have, so they're going to activate the effect of Glamour. They already had use gone through a lot. They're not going to tribute anything, which is very important to note. And like they do have a Mudon left, so they search for the Mudon, but Mudon's going to only be able to search for that copy of Con here, which is going to be essentially just a useless card. It will get the Princess in the graveyard for a follow-up being a negate next turn, which is very nice. But they're still running. Like the fire has kind of been extinguished or lit on the plants here. They need some water to continue to be able to grow. Their life points are not higher than ours, so it's going to be difficult for them to like roamage blend. They have to use the cards on the field and in the hand, banishing them to go for the fusion. And I want to read this one, which this one is a dark as well, which is important to note, especially for those bestials. But we're going to be then activating the effect of the Rinbrum here, and they do Regulus this, which makes complete sense because we're going to be summoning an Albaz, activating the effect, using it and that to make a Lubellion. They're going to go Battle Phase and attack, or they're going to be banishing it because they do activate the effect of Human Winds. That's right. So they're going to search for the Aromage. Now they have they're going to gain some attack here. They're going to activate the effect of gaining the attack on it. So the monster activates the effect discarding itself to gain attack equal to half the attack of the guy. Then the monster activates effects to gain attack equal to the amount that you grew. So you're essentially just almost not doubling it, but you're adding half its attack to itself. And then they just pass turn. We don't have any graveyard effects here because we didn't get to discard. But we do go Albion effect, sending the copy of Retribution to draw another card here. So now we have a unknown Retribution in the graveyard to add back any of our branded spells or traps. We also have a copy of Cartesia, which can summon itself out, and I believe that's all that our opponent knows. New Cartesia special summon herself out, activating the effect banishing to add back. We add back a copy of Branded Fusion. We activate Branded Fusion, we dump an Albaz as well as a copy of, we're just looking at our check to see what else we have. I think that both of the Albions are used, so we kind of have to go for a copy of the Rebellion at this point. Then we activate the Rebellion effect, sending another copy of Albion. We put back the copy of Mirror Jade, and so we do have another Albion in the extra deck, I do believe I saw. looks like we're running low on gas as well. Going for a Despia here, putting back the Mirror Jade alongside the Tragedy. Then Despia is going to put a counter on the guy, and we're going to go up into a copy of the Grand. Now, time gets called. He was going to scoop it up there, but because of the camera, I said, like, we can just play it out. The camera took like a couple minutes. I'd probably say to change it. I think I still have game regardless here. I feel bad because, if I take extra time with the camera and then, you just lose in time, it feels kind of shitty. So we're going to be seeing the Grand effects in the copy of the Albion here. We're going to attack with both of the monsters. And then we're just going to set one and pass on that. With Albion going to be able to set, and then Cartesia going to be able to add back. We just add a copy of Branded Opening, activate Branded Opening, send the copy of Cartesia, going for the Quem. Quem can then open the copy of Albaz, or a High Spirits, because then High Spirits can add itself back, so that we have a discard for the Albaz next turn when we do want to bring it back with the Quem. So we do have the Petal summon ourselves out, and then they just pass turn on this. So we're going to go Despia on the copy of Petal there, and then we're going to go Con effect, going to be able to set the copy of Glamour, and they are looking through their deck to see what they have. They could activate the effect to add two of them, but they're going to be kind of hard to add. They're going to be just adding a copy of the Princess once again here. Princess summon herself out, and do we chain Grand Giganol on this? We do. We chain it to summon out the copy of the Quertus, which can then trigger out the copy of Quem. And they do have a Petal in the graveyard as well, which is important. The Quem is going to target nothing here, okay? They're going to go up for a Jasmine, and then they're going to activate the effect. Yeah, I was thinking to myself, there's nothing really they can do with this. So we go up for the Jasmine, then on the summon we bring back Albaz, we discard the High Spirits, and we go for a copy of Mirror Jade that we put back for the Despia, and they just admit defeat here, because they know we can just go battle phase and get game, and that's just going to be it for the deck, or for the duel here. We see Brandon taking it in Game 3, not having the best Game 1, but Game 3 was actually incredible, going back and forth, being able to break that entire plant board with those back row cards, and then being able to take it in the long run here. Regardless, hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you guys want to be seeing this in the POV lifestyle, being able to overhear what we were talking about, hearing the plays that I do decide to make, definitely check that out from local experience. I believe it's going to be up, later this week on Saturday. It could also be next Monday as well. But stay tuned for that if you guys want to be seeing it. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.